welcome to Full 42. Look, I'm a critter.
Oh my God. Are you serious? Why do you do this to me? You wait until we I'm not even, I should look down at the little screen to know that you're messing around.
All right. I'm not a critter. This thing's too hot to wear right now.
You should leave it on now that you showed it.
No, it's too hot. I'm already I'm not used to anything up here. So this is a Full 42. Rain? Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
This is Full 42. Normally we talk about board games on Monday on a live show, but this is a special Saturday show for Cardboard Alchemy, which side of it? Here we go. Right there. POTIONCON, right? I've been watching some of it, a little bit of it, mostly because I've been working on the Kickstarter for Critter Kitchen. That one. Right there. Night and day, nonstop. So we're going to do that. Wow, we've got a few people saying hi to us.
I see Brad in the chat. Hi to everybody. Hi. Hi.
Yes. Yeah. Oh wow, we're getting a lot of people saying hi. Some new people, some old friends as well. Hi to everybody. So we're covering the top 5 games for Flamecraft fans. I have to say it slowly because I created a tongue twister, right? But and normally we kind of just go our own way and just stop whenever we get tired of each other, which can be like 2 or 3 hours, right?
Curfews.
But in here we've been told we only get an hour, so we'll see what we can squeeze in there.
We'll be fine. We can do it. We got the picks there. We got the top 5. We'll talk about some stuff. We'll be fine.
Have I gotten any sleep? I get some sleep. I get sleep. Yep. It's Peter that doesn't get sleep. I shouldn't get sleep, but I get sleep. But yeah, we're working on the Kickstarter and all that stuff, and decided to have a convention right before a Kickstarter, like clever people. So this is part of that. And when we go through our top 5, so the way we did the top 5, you and I decided on 5 categories that kind of fit Flamecraft, or do fit. Now I got the tongue twister going on. That do fit Flamecraft, and then we have our own. You'd like this game if you like Flamecraft because of this kind of thing,
right?
Now, during this, I realized I think we got one of the categories wrong.
This is on you. You picked the 5. I put out 5.
I know, but I say we because it's our channel. So yeah. Well, I mean, okay. Well, we can start with category 1. Oh, before we get into it and stuff, we've got stuff to give away, right?
It's like you've never done this before.
And only for a couple years.
Just breathe. We got 42 people watching. Just want to point that out.
It's the time thing. Like I'm feeling like I gotta get it all. I know.
It's all good. We're gonna go over some games. We're gonna make fun of each other. We're gonna tell people how they're gonna win some stuff from us, and we're gonna be done in an hour. We'll be good.
Right. Yep. We're not gonna be done in an hour.
We'll be done in an hour.
All right. So we do have some stuff to give away that we're going to give away at the end of the show, near the end of the show.
Correct. Do you want me to do it? Do you want me to talk about
it? Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, so at the end of the show, we're going to drop a link to a Google form. The Google form is going to have some information and a question. And the question, you're going to answer the question. You're going to subscribe to this thing that you're watching now. And then we're going to pick 5 people to win the Flamecraft. I forgot what special one, the content creator special promo card. And we actually have 5 deluxe editions that we're going to give away.
Flamecraft. Yep.
Yeah. So we'll do that later. So you got to stay on until later, because the question will actually have to do with something that you'll see later on in the show.
Yeah. And that link is already in the descriptions and stuff, but you got to wait to see what the question is at the end, right?
Thank you, Zoe. It's called a Rare Medium Promo Shop. Oh, Brad's got it in there too. It's a Rare Medium, and it's a shop, a promo card.
Yeah, it looks pretty awesome. I don't have it myself, otherwise I'd hold it up.
Yeah, the thumbnail has it. I left mine home, so obviously I'm on location today. I'm not at my normal house. I'm down in Ocean City, Maryland. And I don't have the cards with me because I wasn't mailing them out from here, so I left them home on the kitchen table. But if you look at the thumbnail that we have, you'll see the card. So
yeah. Yeah.
oh,
yeah.
you know what?
Flamecraft right there. There you go.
I have one.
Oh, you have it in your own.
I have it in the Flamecraft. There it is.
Like and subscribe. How nice. Oh, there you go. Awesome. You didn't even know you came prepared.
I didn't. I did. This normally doesn't happen. So there it is. We're giving these away. And so we're only giving away 5 for this show, but we also have more that we'll be giving away throughout the rest of the year. So for those that are new and those that have been following us for a while, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you watch what we do every Monday, normally Mondays, because we have more of them that we'll be giving out. We just happen to only be giving away 5 for this episode, along with the 5 deluxe copies of Flamecraft.
Wants to know if you left some of your hair at home. I left all my hair.
Yeah, I didn't. I didn't.
All right, so let's talk about.
You haven't had to see me. I cut my hair. It's almost a year now. It used to be down to my butt, but I shaved it off a year ago. So. Yeah,
I'm a little. Mine doesn't quite grow as much as yours. So.
No, mine grows. It's like a werewolf. It's ridiculous.
I was talking about the different things that we picked for 5.
Right.
What were they called?
Categories.
See, I've been working a lot lately.
Yeah, I see that.
So the first category that we did is the one I think might be a little bit of issue. Oh yeah, I've got my little dragons being protected by Batman right there. Those are so cute.
They're great. I stole them from my kids. Just so you know.
Stole them from your kids.
They're inside, so I went to go take them for the
That's
show.
funny.
Well, Peter, for those that know, Peter sent these to my 2 kids, and I put a picture on them hugging them because they love them. So they're actually hanging out with me today.
Those pictures are great.
They're inside. They don't miss them. They're fine.
Yeah, so the category that I had a problem with, I guess we'll start with, is the worker placement. So a lot of people say Flamecraft is worker placement. And I haven't argued that or anything, but when I started looking for a similar worker placement, I realized you only have one worker, right?
Yeah.
And you only move it from place to place. And it makes me think, is that more action selection? So anyway, as I started looking for something similar for that, I kind of drifted away from worker placement. So I kind of broke the first. I mean, start right out the gate as breaking the rule.
You're telling me this now while you couldn't tell me this before, so I could adjust. And first of all, I'll argue.
It's more fun when you can't.
It is worker placement. You have a worker, you place it, and you do a thing, whether that's get resources or perform an action. Look at all creatures big and small. The Agricola, all creatures big and small. You start with 2, right? And you get to put them somewhere and do a thing.
Is that your pick?
No. I was just, you're saying because we only have 1 worker. So I'm saying Agricola, all creatures big and small, only has 2 technically out of the gate. So
the definition is kind of hazy. So it does work or it doesn't work depending on how you look at it. I'm not saying it is or isn't. I'm just saying it was a little weird for me to try to find one that matches with it. So I'm curious with what you came up with.
You're immediately saying you broke your rule. You immediately came out of the gate and said you broke a rule.
Bent. Little bent.
All right, whatever. Do your thing.
Well, no. Why don't you go first? Why don't you tell us the game that you have decided is, if you like Flamecraft is a worker placement game, you would like this game.
So I have to say one for last, but I went with the easy Lords of Waterdeep.
Oh, okay.
It was either that or Stone Age. I think Stone Age just had a reprint, so it probably is easier to get now. I know it was out of print for a while, but worker placement, I think the quintessential one to play. Although I would argue for Flamecraft fans that are new to the hobby, I would only play Waterdeep with the Scoundrels and Skullport expansion. It doesn't add that much to it. It adds a little bit more strategery, more cards, more stuff, and then this corruption mechanism, which kind of can elevate the game, but it adds new locations and new stuff. But you have your workers and you place them and you get the thing and you're trying to satisfy these quests that you're going on. Obviously, it's D&D heavy, but it's not a very complicated move from going from what Flamecraft is doing to what Waterdeep asks you to do. It's the quality is great. The game's been in print for a while. Everything about it is just, it's easy to get into. So if you like the idea of taking something, going someplace and getting something for it, I think Waterdeep would be an easy step for those that are into Flamecraft to play. Yes, I said strategery.
I know, I caught that too. Strategery. Yeah, I thought about, when you say worker placement, this is one of the first ones to pop it. Same thing for Stone Age and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I agree. It has the whole D&D thing behind it, but it's got a good light feel to it. Anybody could jump in there and play. Mm-hmm. And I also agree about the expansion. The expansion is so good. Yeah,
some people, and the Scoundrels and Skullport, they come with 2 expansions. You can leave the corruption one off and just play with the one that gives you new locations. And it does add more cards, so make sure you're only using the right cards in the game. But it really doesn't add. It might be a little bit much for someone who's new to the hobby that doesn't understand that concept, because you end up getting negative points for the highest one that's empty. So somebody who knows the game could really leverage the corruption to someone who's just learning the game.
Yeah.
But I mean, it also comes with another board that has more locations and more stuff to do that doesn't add any of that potential screwage. Oh,
look at that.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. So I'm curious what you're going to do for your worker placement breakage here.
I picked something that some people still might argue could be worker placement. I don't think it is, but you defined worker placement as picking up a thing and going to a spot and activating it, right?
Right. So, either getting resources or performing an action. And I think Flamecraft is that. You have your dragon, you go to a shop, you benefit from all the things that are in the upper left, whether it's been upgraded or it's just basic. I think the fun thing with Flamecraft and the decision that players have is, do I go to where Chris is? If I go to where Chris is, I have to give Chris something which could benefit him. And I like that in games, like your game does that, where giving the action back rather than resources.
Right.
And that's fun. Where Waterdeep can be a little bit more cutthroat, where if you're looking at, like on that picture right there, in between the first and second blue, I'm pointing at the screen like you guys can see me. In between the bottom blue meeple worker and the second one in the middle there's that open area, and I think that's purple. Once you go there, it's locked. No one else can go there. So it can get really cutthroat where I know Chris wants purple. I'll go there to not let him get purple and maybe force him into a shop that's making him pay me for getting a purple. Like, there's more to it. So it can be a little bit more cutthroat than Flamecraft, where no one's blocking you from going anywhere. You just might have to pay a little bit extra to go there.
Yeah, that's true.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, I'm not arguing that it's not. I know that it's in a hazy area because some people argue that it isn't. So I'm staying very diplomatic.
Were you Switzerland?
I'm just saying it was a little weird. So here's my little weird worker placement fix, which would be Takedo. All right, see that face that you just did? That's where I was like, is it worker placement?
Is it worker placement?
You pick up a worker, which is you, and you go to a spot and you do that action.
Then yeah,
same thing you just said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing you just said.
Well, what does BGG have it as one of the mechanisms?
I don't know.
Don't, Mike. Don't give him any. Don't give him. He doesn't need it.
Yes. All the accolades. Yeah, so I don't know what BGG. People can add the mechanisms as they want on there, so I don't know if that is really a defined way. But if you're not familiar with Takedo, it's been around for a while. I think 2012 is what we found out in our last episode.
Yeah.
See, I listened to it.
Now you won't forget. Good job.
Yeah, I won't. If you're familiar with it, you go to a spot and you do the little action on there, but you can only move forward because you're traveling with everybody else, and whoever's in the back, is always their turn. So if you just move a little bit and go to the place closest to you, it might not be where you want to go, but the other person might have gone real far and you get a whole bunch of turns before they get to go. That's really fun. It's a lightweight game. I like the theme of it, which is you're just trying to have a nice time in Japan. You're traveling. Trying to get a close up of the board here. Yeah. It's a beautiful simple game. It's a beautiful game. Yeah, beautiful. I love the artwork.
The way the cards line up, right, and make the panoramic. It's beautiful. Yeah. Have you played the new one? Is it Namiji?
Namiji, yeah. It's very similar too. I almost picked that, and you get these cute little boats. There's one with little pigs on it and everything like that. They're great. I almost picked that, but I feel like this is kind of like, I don't know, a little old school. So it feels. It's the nostalgia with it for me as well. So I like both of them though. Yeah.
Yeah. For those that are new, if you want to go back and watch our last episode, you want to see Chris lose his mind and go crazy. I took him through a little bit of trivia when games came out. So now Takedo is kind of stuck in his head for
that was not fun.
Oh, it was great. It was great. I'm not saying I watched it again. It was pretty great.
Do you mean you want to emulate the theme, like actually go yourself, like take the trip? That'd be interesting.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so that's my worker placement.
Wait, no.
Darts is worker placement.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, you have one thing and you put it somewhere and you gain points.
Well, you have 3, and yes.
Yeah, even more. You get 3 workers.
That's a dexterity worker placement game?
We can turn this entire episode into is it or isn't it a worker placement game. I think all that matters is that you get kind of the same feels as Flamecraft for this list.
Yeah.
Being diplomatic.
I don't like diplomatic, Chris.
All right. What's the next category that you want to do? Because apparently our categories are out of sync.
They're not. Like whatever you had them in 1 through 5 is what I did. So
okay, well then my categories are out of sync because my next one is dragons.
That's the next one I have.
All right. Well, there you go.
So do dragons.
Oh, you go first. So this category, yeah.
Okay.
We just said dragons, so we didn't really define a category between ourselves.
And it surprisingly, there are a lot of crappy dragon games out there. Like when you type in dragon and you start looking, there's some brutal ones. But there are a lot that are like, this was hard for me to figure out one in the dragon category because there are some really good dragon games. Maybe not necessarily dragon as your meeple, where you're in this really cute dragon town with Sandara's art, which is just stunning. But that has to do something with a dragon. And there were a lot of games that had to do with the dragon. And this was the hardest one for me, was to figure out which game I wanted to talk about. And it's actually a remake of an older game called Dragon Rampage, which was designed, well, they're both designed by my co-designer on the Batman game. This one's called Dragon Scales. It was a reprint of Dragon Rampage, also done by Richard Lanius. The art was upgraded. It's by Arcane Wonders. Basically, you start the game where you're fighting this 3-headed dragon. I forget the dragon's name. And you are these evil characters trying to get the most out of it. But the way the game works, like that board on the left there with the action selection, you roll your dice behind your screen. And like Yahtzee style, you get to re-roll twice. And then when you go to place there, those are your actions that you get to do. And one side of the D6 is a dragon. It's called Dragon Rage, I believe. And they're locked up. They can't be re-rolled. But if, let's say I place two of my dice come up one symbol and I place them in one thing. If you want to do the same action, but you only roll 2 dice, you have to go to the right of my dice, and the leftmost is the strongest of the actions. But if you rolled 3 of that symbol, you actually push my dice 1 away. So the more you roll of the symbol, the better of the action you can, and you can actually push people out of actions. You got to follow that little flame trail there. The game ends in multiple ways. Either the third head of the dragon is defeated, one of the villains gets out of the exit, and then you're trying to score points based on all the stuff that you got. You get points for dragon scales. You get points for every hit that you made on the dragon, etc. But the minis were really cool. The way that Arcane Wonders elevated the game from Dragon Rampage, and Dragon Rampage was fine, but if you look at Dragon Rampage in this, it definitely looks dated. This one was super fun, and I always loved the original, and they made it even better with this iteration.
You've talked about this game before, and I still want to play it. I've never seen it. I've never seen it on a shelf to grab it or anything like that. It's still in print?
Yeah. Yeah, as far as I know, they're still printed. I don't know if it's on their website. I know my local shop has at least a copy last time I was there. You're gonna have to wait, Impy.
I love the DM screen. Oh, the little player shields.
Yeah, so you roll behind those, and so nobody knows what you're going for, and then you play. If you can scroll to the left, I don't know if there's a better shot of the left side of that board.
Yeah, Critter Kitchen comes with player shields about that size too, actually.
It gives you
I want to try
opportunity for art, right? Like having a player screen, it gives you just another place to put more art. And when games have really good art, you want to display that art. So
yeah, that's a cool pick. I want to play it maybe next time we meet up at a convention.
The game is great. Like the game really works. I think what sings in this game is the action selection, the way that left side of that board works with the dice and how you're playing, because you don't know what I rolled and I don't know what you rolled. So I'm going to play some stuff down in hopes that you're not going to bump me. And if you're playing a 4-player game, like you could get bumped out of an action because you just didn't roll well, but you want to take a shot. So like, do I put one die down in hopes that no one goes for it anyway? And then I get the best thing on one die. It's really cool. It's got really cool. It's really neat. Also, the lore really helps, and it's just fun.
Very cool. I noticed in this one, and all of the dragon game. I looked through a bunch of dragon games just like you did, and I noticed, is Flamecraft the only one that has happy dragons? At least maybe. I mean, I'm sure there are children games and stuff that has stuff. I don't know, but.
It depends on your point of view, right? Like in Dungeon Quest, I think the dragon's really happy because he gets to like light on fire heroes. I think in Vast, the dragon's really happy because it gets to chomp on the knight, probably eat some goblins along the way. So I think from the dragon's perspective, I'm sure they're aggravated that people are trying to steal their gold, but like they're probably happy.
Maybe I just mean humans and dragons getting along. Well, that's what makes it a unique world.
Sure, yeah, no, usually they're not coexisting very well. Yeah.
So for my dragon pick, I chose Clank, which is the original Clank. There's a bunch of Clanks now at this point. There's one in space that doesn't have a dragon, so ignore that one. But Clank has that one dragon in the back. Again, not working well with the humans.
Right. I didn't even think about this one, Haley. Good pick. That's by Smirk and Dagger, or Smirk and Laughter, I think. Where like you're dating. It's like Tinder, but Cinder. Like it's really
how weird.
It was clever. And then the Tea Dragon Society, Bill, another good one.
Oh, Tea Dragon Society.
Some I didn't even think about.
That's a good one. Yeah. We should have asked everybody before we made this list.
Yeah.
They're better at this than us.
That's good.
Just read the comments. Don't look at our list.
Yeah.
Clank, whenever you think dragons, the first thing that popped in my head was like some old school stuff like Talisman and things like that. But this is all dragon centered. You're basically going into the dragon. He's sleeping. You're going into the dragon's den, trying to steal all his treasures and get out before he wakes up and comes and eats you. Right.
Right.
Like Flamecraft, basically the same idea. It's not, but it has dragons. And if you're a lover of dragons, there you go. It's another dragon thing. One of my favorite things about it, though, is the fact that you can do stuff, but you make noise. And when you make noise, you put your little cubes in the bag. And then when you go to draw those cubes, you're like, oh, please don't be my cubes. And, it's that suspense of like the dragon's getting closer. I'm making more noise, all that stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Good job, Axel. Also, this is each of our top fives. So yes, there are 10.
That's true. Yeah. As per normal.
Yeah.
And sometimes we squeeze in more in there.
We'll talk about more for sure. Although you're gonna panic because we're already 25 minutes in. So
See, I told you.
oh,
We're gonna go fast.
You okay? Are you gonna make it?
No.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's go on to the next one. What is the next one in your list? I had similar art.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the 5 you wrote,
Right.
the 5 I wrote. Like, I just went with what you did.
All right. All right. What's your similar art? And this was tough.
Yeah. So similar art. It's not an easy one because Sandara's art is so unique. It's so engaging, and the closest thing I could find that would bring you into the world, like Sandara's art does with Flamecraft. Like if you want to get into the shops and the characters and the dragons and how cute they are. Why can't you see my dragons? There you go. I went with Everdell.
Oh, yeah.
It just seemed like it had the critters, it had the good art. You really feel like the critters are characters, like you can get behind the world. You want to live in there for a little while. It helps with the resources being realistic. The tree was unnecessary, but I think the art in the game was really well done. So if you like that world building where the art is making things come alive, I think Everdell is the one. There are plenty. There's so many. It's tough, but first thing that came to mind when I think about like the art of Flamecraft and how it built that world and how that world is kind of playing that movie in your head when you're playing, like going to the shop and what's going on and how the bakery smells in that shop. Everdell just did that. It was the first one I thought about. So Creature Comforts, anything that Kids Table Board Games does is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, Andrew Bosley, this artwork is, I mean, I love that little bat.
Yeah.
It's amazing stuff. It's not the style, and that's the hardest part for me, was that there really isn't another board game out there that is using her exact style, right? Which is great. That's why we love Sandara and her artwork. So it has that unique feel and all that stuff. So the thing that I came up with was I kind of focused on the creatures, the animal creatures. And kind of like the town and stuff. So I went with tiny towns.
Okay.
Tiny towns, again, you kind of get the creature thing, but it's a lot less than what your pick was, because really, I mean, you just see them down here on the cover for the most part. Right?
Yeah.
Because what you're really focused on is making these little towns and these little buildings and stuff. But the world itself, you've got a really nice town. It's got creatures in it. So that's what's kind of drew me to it.
Right.
It's also kind of like on the same level of gameplay, I think, and it has this fun little, again, you're like, I need this kind of thing. Please say this thing. And then someone says some other thing. You're like, that's not the thing I need. And, it's that fun little, like, how do I deal with what you just gave me?
Sure.
It's a weird kind of thing, because somebody basically on your turn, you give everybody, including yourself, a resource, right. And some people want it and some people don't. But it's funny to have people just like complain, like, why are you giving me this free thing that I don't want?
Yep.
But yeah, I really like this game a lot. It's very easy to bring to the table. A lot of cute artwork and stuff in it. And it's just one of the first things I thought of whenever I thought of this category.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's easy to play. It plays almost an infinite number of people.
Does it? It says 6. 6 isn't infinite.
AEG used to do I think it was during the pandemic, used to do live plays, and you could just play along.
Oh.
Like, I mean, you're not in charge of picking one of the colors, right, or anything, but whatever they gave to everybody, you can play on your board. So
there you go. Yep.
Yeah, and Mr. Vanderveen, where did his little thing? Did I miss the argument for Everdell and a dragon game list? So the idea is, why did you change off what I did? The idea is, if you like Flamecraft, you'll like this because of what Flamecraft offers. So the art, obviously the dragons, the idea that it's worker placement and 2 more. So it's not that it's a dragon game list. It's that if you like the way Flamecraft feels when you play it, you'll like this as well.
There you go. Other people played it.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, good. It's a good one.
Cool. It's approved. Got it approved. Plus a lot of cute little wood bits and stuff.
It can be wicked brutal though. Like, that people want blue, people want brown. You're like, not giving you that.
No, that depends on how you play it. Like when I play with my group, it's a little friendlier. Yeah.
Sure.
It depends on the group. You could have a friendly game, or you could have a game like, let's say, if you were playing, people would be a little meaner.
That's not nice.
You just said. Are you saying that if we played this game and I said, "Ooh, make it an orange cube," that you would not? Yeah, there you go.
No, I'm not saying I'd be nice to you. I'm just saying the game can be mean.
It can be,
but it is super. I mean, I see why it's a weekend staple or a weeknight staple. Like, it's easy to get into. It's got replayability because it's got other cards that you can play, like kind of like Cascadia, where you have like the base set and then you have other stuff as you learn it. This one's got the same kind of thing. So it's a good one. I like this one. Good pick.
Yeah.
Hey, Emerson. And you're welcome, Mike. It's good to see you.
All right. So our next category, we're moving along too fast now. Our next category is contract fulfillment. All right. Yes. So that one, let's talk about the mechanic for a second.
Go ahead.
So basically, like in Flamecraft, whenever you have the little card that says you need these things, fill it out, get points or whatever else you get from it and stuff, right? There's a lot of versions of that. Mm-hmm. Once I started looking for all this different things, I got too many to pick from. Right. So I'm curious, did you do anything to narrow down that field?
No, I looked up like contracts in games and then figured out which one was a good pick for that mechanism in games. And ironically, I immediately wanted to go to Waterdeep because the quests in Waterdeep are your contracts, right? Like, you're at the tavern or whatever, you get this quest, you go on a quest, you got to get, whatever the cubes are, the clerics and the warriors, you got to get the 3 orange cubes, a purple cube, and a white cube, and that's going to do your quest. So basically that's your contract. Like, look, we need these people to go. It's different themed because those are the people you're taking on the quest to go fulfill the quest, but it still represents the same mechanism where there's a card that has a certain requirement on it and you're trying to fulfill that requirement. But Waterdeep had to be the worker placement thing. So for contracts, I put in the Red Cathedral.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. This game, I can't talk about it enough. I from the first time I played it to the most recent time I played it, I have so much fun with the way the dice work and the Mancala works, the way that you're deciding to build the different towers or the structures, and how people can like build above you and you get negative points because you didn't complete the thing. I really enjoy this game. I think the replayability of the different things in the 4 corners that are giving you like one-time actions for going there, and you're getting your resources, and then you're using your resources to build the different things and the different pieces of whether you're doing the door, the windows, or the top, and how you can put the embellishments on it, and how they require different things. So you're trying to figure out, how do I get enough of the jewels that I need to put on there to get the most points? I think the game blew me out of the water when I first played it. And this is right around the time where I was talking about how Devere was just knocking it out of the park. Everything Devere had put their name on was like an insta back or an insta buy for me, because their quality, the components, the gameplay, everything about it's great. So like, that's the way, there are different setups, and that's the way the game is set up to build. And then by placing there, you get the little token that's going to give you a bonus when you use certain color die. But on the top there is what it needs to be fulfilled. So like, do you think you can go get what you need, the brick, the wood, whatever, to do it? And can you build on top of somebody before they build it so you can actually get them negative points? So it's really, the game is super clever. It's not complicated. It's really not that hard of a teach either. But the way that the rondel, I said Mancala, the rondel, I meant rondel. The way the rondel works and the way the things are being built up, it's such a beautiful, I need to get a hold of the White Castle. White Castle is their next one. But yeah, this game is just stunning. It's a great. If you haven't played it yet, the game's great.
What's funny is the person that taught me this game is Peter. Fun.
There you go.
Played it at Cardboard Alchemy. So
I love it.
And you're the one that convinced me to buy it at Gen Con, actually. Which I guess I'll thank you, because it is actually a really good game.
Yeah, it's one of the ones that you've actually played that I recommended.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I the rondel thing is going to grab me every time. Right.
Oh, it's so good.
I love the
so
rondel.
well done.
This, I mean, you didn't explain like what happens with the rondel, right? Like you're picking one of those dice to get the resources, and then you move it and all that stuff. Yeah, you move it depending on the number that's already there.
So the number of the die you pick. So if you pick that yellow 3, you'd move it 3 pie slices, and then whatever the resource is at that place where you end is the resource you get times the number of dice that are in that location. So you're trying to figure out if in that picture that he Hurley moved along from, if I had picked that 1 and just moved over, there was a blue 2 there. If I moved that 1 over, there were 2 dice there, so I would have gotten 2 of that resource. There you go. So if I picked that 1 white, I'd move 1 pie slice over, and then I would get 2 wood for every dice that's in that pie slice. If I picked that 4 green, then I would move 4 slices, and I would get however many dice there are times whatever the resource is. And that's all variable, right? That's always the resources that are in the different locations are different. When you pick your die and you move it, you roll it. So it's never staying the same number all the time. Like the game is it's so well done.
Yeah. And also you have those cards right above. So whenever you land there, they always have something different every game that gives you some kind of extra choice.
Yeah, something that you can take advantage of once, or you can pay to have it done more times. Usually some mitigation in the bad luck of a roll, or the resources that you're getting, or you're getting favor from somebody to help you do a thing that you need to put, like, the cross on the top of the cathedral or something. It's so good. Visually,
I wasn't attracted to this just because of the old school look to it and stuff, So I'm glad everybody talked up the gameplay, because it was amazing. Not that it looks bad. It's not something that grabbed me thematic wise.
Sure.
No dragons.
No dragons. No. It's got that rondel. And I mean, if you are, I mean, it is Mancala-ish, but I think the technical term is it's a rondel. But I know Chris loves the rondel, like that style. And I don't think there's a game that I've played that I would choose over this that has that mechanism in it. I love the way the dice mechanism works. I love the resources being different every game. The setup of the cathedral, like how it's being built. It's just the different on each piece of the cathedral, there are bonus chips. And if you go there, you get that bonus chip, and then you get to place it on your player board, and you'll actually get a benefit every time you use that color die. So like if I go someplace and I get the green die chip, I can place it in my red die slot. And every time I do the red die, I get the green die's resource wherever the green die is on the board. And the way that works and how everything's moving, the game, it sings. It's so beautiful.
Oh, there's the rondel now.
Yeah.
Now that you're done explaining it.
If that situation there, if I had the green die bit, the extra bit on my red die, every time if I used the red die there, I would have gotten the resource that the green die was at. So like, do I use the 6? The white 6? Do I move 6 and get the resource? If I take the red, I get an extra thing. Like, you're building up this engine on your board in addition to all the other things. That it's just so good.
Yeah,
so good.
Very good. Great pick. I can't argue against any of your picks,
but it fit for this, right? When I think about fulfilling contracts, or if I have to spend resources to do a thing, this is the game.
Very cool. This was the first one you thought of whenever contracts popped in, or second one, because you said Lords of Waterdeep the first.
It was technically the third, because the one I already knew there was one I was going to talk about on something else, and then Waterdeep was the second. And Waterdeep, I already knew I was talking about something else. So this was really the third one I went to. But
the first one that came to my mind for contracts is Scoville. I don't know if you've played this or not. It came out a while back, and I don't even know if it's in print anymore, but because TMG is out of business, but some of their stuff has been picked up by other people. So, but this is basically the contract. This image right here. You need 3 cubes, which represent hot peppers, basically. Right. And then once you pay that, you get the points and the fire. And I guess the fire is points because it's all about peppers and stuff. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's this really interesting kind of making peppers game where if I want to make a black pepper, for instance, I got to be able to put the 2 orange ones together. It's I'm trying to find a picture. Yeah, that's the picture of the board, which doesn't look fun until you get the stuff on it.
Oh, the board is actually dual layered. Like it doesn't even show off. That looks like a print and play. The board's dual layered, and the chili. They're actually chilies. They're not even cubes anymore. Right.
Well, there's different, deluxe versions and things like that available. This is all the images they have here are. That's what I have. The little farmers look like that. Yeah. And when they walk around the farm, where they go depends on which peppers you pick up and then use and try to fill in these recipes. Yeah, there we go. That's more like it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you can block each other in a way, but you can see it gets bigger and stuff. And these little wooden peppers, they go into those holes. And so it's really nice because you don't bump them and knock them out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the whole goal is to fill in these contracts of I want these many hot peppers and things like that, right? Peter Pipers.
Nice. I was going to do that too. That's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a really it plays up to 6, which I'd say maybe stay at 5 really because it can get a little long at 6, but it is a great game that unfortunately doesn't get a lot of talk anymore. I guess it's just been a while.
Yeah, it did, but it's also been out of print, right?
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah,
I think a publisher has to pick it up in order to print it again.
Yeah, I committed the sin of bringing up one that you can't get, unfortunately, not easily anyway.
Yeah, I think all mine are easy to get.
You probably have like 4 or 5 of these, right?
No, just one. 2.
See?
I have one for the library.
Contact Mike, he'll give you his.
I have one for the library and one that's in my personal collection. If you would like to play it, come to QsCon in the fall in New York, and you can play it.
You can't talk about a con at another con.
I'm just saying. You threw me under the bus, so I'm going to talk about it.
That's true. But yeah, that's my contract fulfillment. That's the first thing that popped in my head. I haven't played this in a while either, and
that's a good one. That's a good one.
Cool. So our final category is location upgrades, and this one was tough.
Yeah, this was easy for me.
Really?
This was immediate. I knew exactly, this is the game. There was no question that this was the game for me.
Really?
Why don't you go first? Mine was too easy.
Well, okay, because mine, I don't want to say it's a stretch, but, in Flamecraft, whenever you go to a place, it gets better and better. When Flamecraft, when you go to a spot and you put down a dragon, it gets better and better, right? Because things like that. I couldn't think of a game that does it. It's funny, once you start diving into Flamecraft, you start noticing all the little things that are unique about it. Mm-hmm. I couldn't find something, at least in my collection, that kind of does the same thing until I realized, okay, if I focus on it gets better for you, but maybe not everybody. So my pick is Altiplano.
Oh, that's a good one.
So, good. I got approved. So the reason why I picked this one, though, is because you have this nice little board that I can't find now.
Nope, you're not going to find it.
Yeah. Well, this is one of your starter boards, right? So this is a draw bag game where you go in the bag, you pull out some different resources, and you choose where they go to turn on different actions. But what's neat about that is there's different places that you can go. There they are. That's them right there. Those are the way you can upgrade those places. So the little spots down here tell you where they go, like that area that has a little tree. You can add that to it. And now you got more actions you can do in that section.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I also like bringing this up just for the fact that I love bag builders, and maybe Cardboard Alchemy has one coming. Maybe. But that's far, far in the future.
Sure, yeah.
But yeah, I really love this game. That doesn't come with the game, but that's funny. That comes with the game. But yeah, finally, it took a while to get a full board picture.
Sure, there you go.
Sort of.
Yeah, Haley, I didn't know we were going to plug our own games, or else I would have come prepared with some of my own, but that's fine.
Are you saying I'm plugging my own game while I move to do the? No, I'm just kidding.
The bag builder coming from Cardboard Alchemy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm plugging Brad's game.
Okay.
But anyway, Altiplano, definitely one of my favorite games. It's in my top 10. And that's the only thing I could really think of. Say that's how they upgraded this area right here with those two. So
it's a good pick.
What did you find that fits perfectly that I couldn't find?
If you could just move your head to the right. There it is. Yeah.
Oh, this one.
We don't. So one of the rules we have, we don't really talk about our own games or games that mean that much to us because they're too easy to pick for a lot of these top fives. Arkham Horror 2nd Edition is the game that got me into the hobby. My Batman game is co-designed with one of the Arkham designers, Richard. We try and stay away from asking for troubles just because it's the low-hanging fruit. It's easy for us to pick. But when you talk about location upgrades, I have to break the rule on this one. It's asking for troubles. It's one of the things I loved about this game the first time I played it. So it's Chris and Aaron. It's their design. I would argue that this game, other than dragons and maybe art, it's got the contract fulfillment, it's worker placement, it's got one of the coolest decisions you have to make by going to a location and giving somebody back their ship. But when you get to upgrade the locations on the board for your ship, when you go someplace and you get something better for it, that thing, go back. What are you doing? There's your contracts right there. So in the lower right of the box there, you see that white hex. Each one of those locations is a location on the board. And when you go there, like you go to one of the locations and you get something for it. But one of the locations actually lets you upgrade one of those sections on your ship. So every time you go to that location, you'll get what the location gives you plus what you've upgraded. And it's one of the coolest decisions in games that I've played. I love the way that thing ends up being different every game. Like this game, you need space carrots, or this game, you need coal, or whatever it is. I just adore that concept in this game. It drew me to this game even more than the sci-fi nature and the Easter eggs that are all over it. I love that concept of this game specifically. So when you said location upgrade, like I know I had put it in there as an option because that's what you're doing in Flamecraft. When you go to a shop, you can upgrade that shop. So the next time you go there, you get better stuff, or the next time other people go there, they get better stuff. So I knew location upgrades is one of the things I loved about Flamecraft. And then I was like, all right, well, if we're getting to pick categories, then I'm going to pick location upgrade because I'm going to throw this one in there because that is one of the things I love most about this game. So if you haven't played it, this game for me replaced Waterdeep. Like I love Lords of Waterdeep. I get it. It's a great game, but the way that this game works with the bumping, where you have to decide if you want to go someplace. And if somebody is there, you're never choked out of a place, but you're giving them their ship back, which gives them another action. Like that in itself is such a cool choice to have to make. And the way that the ship upgrades for the locations is just beautiful. So,
hey, check it out. I found a Peter Vaughn in the background of a convention.
Oh, look at you. Nice. Gen Con. Wow, what year is that? Jeez. Oh, my God.
There's a dorky image. I was hoping. Yeah, there he is. Peter Vaughn.
There you go. Where's Peter? Peter's watching, right? He's got to be watching.
He was earlier. I don't know if
He's
still,
not doing anything
he's
else.
got a few things to work on.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for mentioning it. I won't go on about my own game. So, but
no, I'll go on for you, man. I'll do it. Like the orange and blue, it drew me to it the first time. Like I didn't know Chris until almost 3 years ago, and I had backed
Tabletopia.
Huh?
I was just answering that one down there.
Oh.
It's
yeah. I don't know if it's. Oh, it is. Yeah, I backed this game when it was first out. When it was first on Kickstarter before I even knew Chris. And then again, when it was with Breaking Games, and I'll continue to support it. I love it. I still adore this game. So if you haven't tried it, do this one for sure.
Nice. Yeah.
There you go. See, 50 minutes, man.
Yeah. Look at that. We were able to nail it. We got a few things to give away, right? We made people watch.
Now we got to do the other stuff. Yeah.
We made people watch. They might have missed if they didn't show up right at the beginning. They might have missed the awesome hat, right? Frog hat.
First of all, Chuck, it's great to see you, buddy. Also, when the pandemic hit, to keep some semblance for QSCon Tuesdays, and Chuck knows about QSCon, I started doing Tuesday streams, right? Because we weren't meeting in person, and QSCon Tuesday was our game night in Syracuse. And Chris, the Kickstarter for the expansions was coming out. So I just reached out on a whim and was like, hey, do you want to just come and talk to us for an hour? And that sparked this whole thing that's happened for him and I with this 42. So it's always going to hold a place, obviously. But yeah.
It's been what, 2 years? Over 2 years? How long have you been putting up with me?
3 years in January, buddy.
3 years? Oh, wow.
Yep.
That's a long time to put up with me.
Yeah. And we only met in person, what, last year for the first time?
No, it was the Gen Con before last.
2 years, 2 Gen Cons ago? Yeah, last Gen Con. Not last year's Gen Con. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Yeah, so sorry for your bank accounts. But if you can get that, I think mine are all pretty decent. I mean, Everdell, don't go bonkers with the big, huge box thing.
Oh man.
Just get the base game to see if you like it first. I mean, it's a good game to begin with.
But that giant box that Everdell has, that's insane. And it won't fit on my KLAC, so I'm already out. It's got to fit in KLAC shelves.
We got 7 minutes. You ready?
Okay. Yeah, we gotta tell people how to sign up to be part of the drawing to win Flamecraft Deluxe Edition and the promo that you got right there. Do you have it in front of you again?
I put it back in the box.
Okay. So there's a link in the descriptions, should be one, that says something. I don't know what it says. Yeah, drum roll, something. It says something about winning the rare medium there. So look in there. There's a few links in there, but there's a form that you can fill out. And what we're going to ask you in that form, besides the usual name and all that stuff so that we can send this to you if you win, is what do you see in Luca's painting? So if you haven't seen the show before, every episode we show his son's newest painting, who he makes tons and tons of these paintings. And we like to look at them like a Rorschach test and just see what we can see for ourselves. So we'd love to see everybody's opinion. You could say them in here as well, but just say in the form what you saw in the painting. Right. So why don't you show us? You actually have two to go together, you said?
Yeah, the two. I had it's special, right? So I had to do something special for the show. So not only this that's about to happen, but also subscribe. Do the subscribe thing, and then fill out the form, which will let us have a place to send this if you're the winner. And I think what'll happen is you have until the end of POTIONCON, which is tomorrow afternoon-ish Eastern, Western. I'm not sure when it exactly ends, but whenever POTIONCON is done, which is tomorrow, you have until then to fill out the thing. And then on Monday's show, Chris won't be available. He might pop in, but they're all getting ready to launch Critter Kitchen. So on Monday's normal show at 9 o'clock Eastern, I'll announce the winners. So I'll be here. I think I'll have somebody with me. If not, it'll just be me. Maybe we'll do something fun like a AMA or something. and then we'll announce it on then. So you have until tomorrow afternoon to do the thing. And like Chris said, usually it's just one of these canvases. He started doing the watercolor paintings back in December of last year. And now I'm up to, I think, 150 of these things. At last count is 142, and I have technically 2 in my hand right now. But this is tonight's.
I love that you have 2. Did you hold them together for him to do that?
I had them down actually on a box, like a piece of cardboard, like a box. So he was painting back and forth with them. So this is today.
And how old is he, for everyone who doesn't know?
He will be 2 on November 2nd. So he's not even 2 years old. And he started this when he was just over 1.
All right. So the question is, what do you see in the painting? You can say in comments, but also say on the forum. For me, I kind of get like a skiing thing. Like someone's like action skiing towards a big hill in the background.
There you go. Hey, Evan.
Well, we got cranes. We got birds. He does like to draw a lot of birds. Ooh, a spaceship.
Yeah.
See the thing. Kingfisher.
Okay. I
got
like
some
that
critters.
one.
Oh, got another skiing person. Good. I'm not a weirdo.
Well, I mean, jury's still out on that one.
Yeah. Bicycle, though a less fully assembled one. Yeah.
Wow.
Still counts as a bicycle. Oh.
Wow, a lot of them coming up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The Sydney Harbor Bridge. I see that. That's a good one, Martin.
Oh, yeah.
Water slide into a swimming pool. Okay. I like the koi fish. That's a good one.
Little fish. Oh, koi fish. Yeah.
Look at you guys go. This is great. Bow and arrow. Interesting.
It's interesting. Well, some therapist somewhere is able to find.
Wow, look at that. Haley and Chuck almost exactly the same time. Bow and arrows.
Huh.
That's
Car
cool.
about to go off. Sick jump. Another bow and arrow combo.
Yeah. That's literally where? Another one? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. There's a lot to see. Archer's arms. Yeah. Another thing for bow and arrow.
Oh, I like the bird skiing off the high jump. That's cool.
Combining them.
Alligator. Interesting.
Pelican.
These are cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So in my head, it's underwater. I see almost like going into the Gungans underwater on Naboo, right? You got the underwater dome, and then you got the different size fish. So,
got to bring Star Wars into every episode.
I try.
You have to.
So that's where I went with that one. But
mainly talk about board games, but Star Wars.
Two things.
Yeah, that's fun. You got to mark them in the back to make sure, like years later, you're gonna know that they go together.
Well, I'm gonna put tape. Well, I don't have my marker with me, but I usually put the date on the back, and then on the bottom I put what episode it was on, so future Luca can look them up. But I'll put tape behind them. So yeah, so that's what we got there. So head over to that link, fill out your thing, and then not tomorrow. Today is only Saturday. Monday, you have till tomorrow to fill it out. And then on Monday's normal episode, you don't have to be present to win, but we will announce the winners for it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good luck to everybody. And you're going to announce 5 winners?
Oh, thank you, Martin.
All right.
Yeah, if you go back and look, there are some that are they're amazing. Like I know he just like. All right, so here's a little peek. I guess this is another one he did today. Just a couple lines. Like it's still minimalistic and cute.
Oh, those are fun. If you turn it that way, I'm going to see like the other way. I'm going to see like flower
like
stuff.
vegetables or something.
Yeah.
But it was this is the way that it was. So there's some that are clear in the lines, and then there's some that are just a mush of brown, and then some just stand out that are just amazing. So
it's pretty crazy how long you've been doing this since the beginning of the year, right? And we have an episode every Monday, so
yeah,
every time. And sometimes you've had more than one, like a few episodes you've shown more than one, but you've also shown your wall, or not your wall, but your
Shelves.
Yeah, shelves full of them. And you said what, 144 now?
The last time I counted was 142, and he did some before we left, and he did 5 since I've been here. So he's definitely up over 150.
Wow.
Thank you, Haley. I appreciate that.
So yeah, that's our hour. Well, we actually did it.
Emerson, it's so there'll be we're gonna pull 5 random for the promo card for the rare medium, and then we're gonna pull 5 random for the deluxe game. So the form is for both of them. Fill it out, and then we'll pull for the promo card first, and then we'll pull for the 5 deluxe after.
Does the deluxe game also get the promo?
I have plenty that I could give the deluxe game
good.
getting the promo as well, for sure.
So there's 2 levels of winning. Get the promo, get the deluxe game and the promo.
With the promo. Yep,
and if you already have the game, which you might because you came to see this episode that was about Flamecraft, if you already have it, makes a great gift.
There you go.
So, well, thanks everybody for watching. Have a good POTIONCON. It's still going. Still more stuff up until midday tomorrow. I think it ends with
I'm not sure when it is. Yeah, Brad might be. If Brad's still watching, Brad might be able to talk about it because I think isn't Brad and Peter are doing something at noon their time or 11 their time or something, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, have fun, everybody. I'm gonna jump back and start working on the Critter Kitchen Kickstarter. Not start, but continue working on the Kickstarter for all of you to see on Tuesday, 24th.
Cool. And I'll see hopefully all of you on Monday.
Yeah. Subscribe, like, all the things, buttons, push them.
Push all the buttons.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for coming.
See you guys.